Hello, everyone. My name is Connor Krebs, and today I'm joined by my co-host, Jake Cohen, and, of course, with Austin Scott, our coach, and Michael Jasper, one of the senior leaders on the team. Welcome back to the second episode of the 2022 edition of the Hersey Hoops podcast. Welcome back, guys. Week 2 already.
Thanks for having us. Always my favorite part of the week. I love Wednesday mornings.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to this since last night.
Yeah.
Last night.
Yeah, a little late warning on the guy, but we'll take it. Anything for money, Mike. All right, so I guess we're just going to get into this episode with Slide Thorn Snack Leak. We're going to open it up.
Yeah, talking to a few guests, or a few listeners last week, they're like, well, do you pick Slide Thornton's Snack of the Week presented by Thornton's based on what you like, based on what the kids like, what you think they're going to like? And I'm like, none of the above. None
It's
of
just
the above.
something.
It's a snack that reminds me of the guest.
Okay.
Okay. So there are things, breathing fire is something that Quinn Mullen's about. That's why he chose the Cinnamon Mentos. You see a little bit of his personality shine through in that snack pick. So this week, I was perusing the aisles at Thornton's, and for a guest like Mike, it's got to be a classic snack.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
It's got to be a trademark brand. It's got to be something that's been a mainstay and a staple on shelves for years. There's not a lot of bells and whistles to Mike. Mike is just Mike.
Mike is Mike. I
He's
love
milk.
that.
He's Milky Mike. He's Money Mike. He's Jasper. So, everybody loves fruit snacks, right?
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But there is one brand of fruit snacks
Yeah.
The classics.
that is a cut above the rest. I call them the Cadillac of fruit snacks.
Cadillac
Welch's.
fruit snacks.
You call them the Cadillac of fruit snacks? Like, actively you call Welch's the Cadillac.
Yeah, absolutely. They don't change packaging. They don't, change the branding. Okay. What is the number one ingredient of Welch's fruit snacks?
Fruit.
Fruit.
It looks like it's fruit.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not like,
Sugar.
17 different,
Yeah, that's fair.
red 40s and yellow 5s. It's fruit snacks built on fruit.
Mm-hmm.
And Mike is a man built on principle.
I agree with that.
So you look at these, and you guys are probably too young for this, but maybe some of our listeners will remember. Welch's used to have the grape juice commercials with the little kids. The little kids trying the grape juice.
I don't even know if I know you.
Yeah, and just loving it. Because they always trusted little kids to love Welch's grape juice because of the ingredients. And that's why people love Money Mike. They love Money Mike because of the ingredients, Now, I will ask you guys, for our Slide Thornton's Snack of the Week presented by Thornton's portion, like, what is your most desirable fruit snack in the sense of, like, what in this package? Like, do you go after the...
I'd say these.
You're a grape guy.
Yeah, grape. I'm a grape guy for everything usually.
For me, I like the oranges that, you can build together. When I was a kid, I just remember, always putting as many oranges as I could, just build them together.
Because they have, the
Like,
crust.
they have, yeah.
I go with Shay.
I'm a strawberry guy myself.
Yeah. But they're good. They're, look at 90 calories.
Welch's are
right?
definitely top tier stuff.
They quench both the hunger and the thirst a little bit, which is a unique snack. And Mike is a unique person, right? Mike's a throwback. You don't just get guys like Money Mike anymore.
Yeah, no, I
Okay?
agree.
I don't know, Krebs, if we're going to agree on this Welch's pick. Because we're going to have to, rate these later.
Oh, true. Yeah, true.
I didn't realize, how
Facts.
controversial.
I didn't even think about that we have to rate it. I think I have it at the bottom here. I have it somewhere, and we'll add it.
When you're walking through the aisles and you see, the Airheads gummies and the gummy worms and the gummy bears and then the gum drops, and it's like, you know what? None of that's necessary for Mike. He's a classic snack. I can see him enjoying Welch's in a glass of whole milk and being completely satisfied.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm trying to think who Welch's reminds me of. There's someone I know who always eats them, and it's is it Evan? Who always eats Welch's? I'm trying to.
Logan likes.
Yeah. There's a couple people that off the top of my mind that are always eating these. I feel like a couple of football guys too, because I'd come in early. Back in the day, we'd come in early or whatever, and they'd be eating. And they'd always have Welch's. So I feel like that's
family farmer owned. Means something to me.
Mm-hmm.
It just hits different. Family farmer owned.
All right.
I love it.
We have to. Are we gonna rate it now or at the end?
Let's rate it at the end.
Yeah.
Let's get in some
Okay.
content.
Yeah, we'll do
Yeah,
the end.
all right. Yeah. Here we go. So we're just gonna hop into some basketball questions here.
Absolutely.
A lot of basketball has been played. a lot. Can you actually help me with this?
Ed Molitor.
I was typing last night and I was just like, that's a word. I couldn't.
Molitor?
It's just like weird. It's not. I thought for some reason it was monitor, like, but it's not. All right. Anyways, so
Molitor, yeah.
first game of the year took on York in the Ed Molitor Classic.
Yes.
Hersey came out swinging with a big 72-58 dub. A lot of senior leadership. Johnny Rigg at 25, Quinn 15. Minin got a lot of boards and a huge dunk. What went right in the first game of the year that helped secure such a big win?
Mike?
I would say coming off from last year's, specifically a Thanksgiving tournament, nobody knew what anybody else was going to be, but especially what we were going to be. But I think because we had so much experience, Max starting until he got injured, Johnny starting, like, we felt a lot more confident. So I think just the experience led us through most of the tournament.
Yeah, and I think in specific relation to the York game, like the first quarter was a little bit rugged. I mean, both teams were kind of throwing the ball around a little bit. It was super physical. And in varsity basketball, you always plan and prepare for what it's going to be like, and then you get out there and it's, a step faster, and things are happening a little bit quicker than you anticipated. And that's especially true for, juniors and sophomores playing in their first game, but also seniors who are returning based on what they remember, right? It's always a little bit faster than you remember. And I think we started off great, and then York kind of took it to us with a little bit of run there, and then we really responded after halftime and turned up the pressure a little bit on some of their non-ball handling players on the perimeter and got some steals and layups. And whenever you're able to get easy shots around the rim and in the paint, it bodes well for your team. And that kind of really solidified our third quarter. Our third quarter, I think we had like 32 points, which really broke the game open. And then, holding on to games and taking care of the ball has been a little bit of a work in progress, but we're getting better at it. And that's a really good win. York is going to win, I would say, 17 to 20 games this year in a really tough league. And, it's a really competitive school and athletic program, and they're always well coached from a basketball standpoint. So I think, that win was something that, really, as Mike said, spoke to our confidence as a team in what we can be moving forward.
Another thing with that before we move on, I noticed a lot that the seniors kind of were controlling not only Hupp, but a lot of guys, just you could tell that the seniors felt like they had been there, and it, like I said, it showed up. But then moving on to the next game, we're going to have...
Yeah, so then in the following game, Hersey took on Glenbrook South, and where Hersey led for most of the game, but unfortunately fell late in the last quarter. What happened in the fourth quarter compared to the rest of the game?
Yeah, I think, when teams, I think we were up 12 at one point in the fourth quarter, and then they hit a 3 to cut it to 9, but it was like 9 or 8 for a little bit, and they turned up the pressure, and that's going to happen all the time. That's going to happen in 100% of basketball games. When one team's down, they're going to, try some gimmicks and traps and things like that, and unfortunately, I take full responsibility for our team and us not being ready to handle that, composure-wise or schematically. But it was a great learning experience for us to watch on film and watch what we can do next time and watch to improve. Of course, Glenbrook South's a ranked team in the state. They're going to win a ton of games this year. Ended up winning the tournament, but I think it, again, speaks to our confidence of what we can do if we play well. And I think that game in the first 3 quarters, we did play really well. And, part of growing up as a team and being senior laden is learning how to win and how to, take care of the ball when things, get rough and physical and the pressure builds and stuff like that. And that's stuff that we'll be better at in the future. I thought we were better at it last night against Maine South. So we're already seeing progress there. So as tough as it was not to come away with a win, and I think that would have been a huge statement win for our guys. And I know they were disappointed about that. They're going to get better in the future, and we're going to get better in the future. But again, that's 100% the coach's responsibility in terms of composure down the stretch.
And we played UBS again, right?
We do not.
Oh, we don't.
We don't.
Okay.
We were supposed to, and then because we played in the Thanksgiving tournament, we canceled the non-conference game.
Okay.
And they're not in our sectional, so we're not going to see them again.
Okay.
But again, it was a great barometer of, man, this team can be really good. It can compete with one of the better teams in the state. You look at GBS's record over the last 4 years, their winning percentage is 95. You know, they went 33-3 last year, 29-4 the year before, or something like that. You know, they beat us in the COVID year when we were really solid, like Cooper Nard and Martinelli and all those guys, both Martinellis. And then they still have some dudes now, you know.
No,
like,
they do.
Sophomores and seniors that present a lot of problems for a lot of teams, and they're so disciplined, man. They're like robots out there.
Speaking of disciplined, in the third and final game of round play, Hersey played Round Lake and won 78-24. A lot of guys got minutes. Yeah, what are some takeaways from that? A lot of younger guys playing, big win.
Yeah, Mike?
I would say that's the perfect game for guys like Brody and Ricky to get their first varsity experience because, I mean, you're not getting yelled at by student sections. There's not a lot of people there. You're playing a team that you can beat. So I think that was a perfect.
Keegan Luxem had 11 rebounds.
Keegan Luxem.
I heard Danny Mack went for like
Danny Mack went off, man.
Yeah.
Double Danny.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what you're gonna get with Danny. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
You know,
Yeah.
Danny just outworks people.
Yeah. Oh
you
yeah.
know, and that was, you know, that obviously happened, and nobody was surprised. Like that, Danny does what Danny does. You know, he's in the right spot. He rebounds. You know, he finishes around the rim. He makes the right play, and I was so proud of Danny and happy for him to see that. And like, it's funny. The guys were like, "Danny double." He's like, "Yeah." You know, like, he doesn't want to talk about it. You know, he's a really humble guy, hardworking, humble guy, and that was a great thing to see for everybody.
Next question.
Yeah, go for it.
All right. Finally, in the
Third person.
yeah, third and fourth quarter or
place.
yeah, third, fourth place game.
Yeah.
To finish the Ed Molitor Classic. Palatine and Hersey played where Hersey lost 61-22 with 2 players out. Besides from the great shooting from Palatine, what else were factors in that game?
I think they obviously hit shots when we didn't at the beginning, led to runs and stuff. But, I mean, they, for the most part, outworked us on the boards and were getting steals when we weren't. And that's just something that, as a team, we just can't really sink back into like we have to go full go at all times. We can't really sink back at all and think that we could beat a team, especially like Palatine, because they're good and we may be good, but like we can't just expect to win any games like that.
Yeah, and Mike presents a great point. I think I thought we just were doing things in that game that weren't part of our blueprint for success or our identity, whether it be rebounding, whether it be, you know, against a zone team, getting the ball in the middle and getting layups. We just settled for a lot of threes, and we're 1 for 17 from 3. When that happens, you know, it's generally not favorable. Now, on the flip side of that, like last night, for example, against Maine South, we scored 64 points and won the game without making a 3. Did you realize that?
Honestly, I think if that was like a question, I think I would say yes, but I didn't notice it while there.
So like looking at the
now
shot
that
chart,
I think about it,
yeah.
I totally know that.
So
but
I don't know if I've ever even been around a team that scored that many points and won without making a 3. But we were 19 of 20 from the free throw line. It's pretty big.
That's in the podcast.
Wait, it's coming.
Okay.
Wait, it's coming.
But like, so we just, you know, when we're strong and physical and, you know, we stick to our identity. And I'm not saying like don't shoot threes. Like we can shoot threes, but again, when those don't always travel to road gyms. Like Maine South's a tough place to shoot. The guys were like the rims or whatever.
Those rims were
they're
literally
tough.
like
They're tough, but you can't
angled.
control it. You got to
I
control.
couldn't see that from the live stream, but really?
No, it felt like it at least.
You got to control what you can control, and rebounding travels, defense travels, intensity travels, togetherness travels, and you know, in a tough environment, okay, with maybe less than desirable rims according to these guys, you know, you still got to find a way to get it done.
So yeah, then like we just kind of mentioned, to our last game last night, we had to Maine South in one decisive fashion, 64-49. amazing from the free throw line. I think I'd say I saw maybe 2 misses. One, yeah. It felt great being in the OC just because we didn't have to worry about anything. Took the chirping well. It was great. And not only that, Hupp had his first big game, had 20 points. And then with that being said, after a big loss and coming back, what do you think that does for the confidence? I know we kind of already talked about it earlier with the York game. Great to come out with the win. But then after having such a big loss and then fighting back and beating a good team and playing with like such, not perfection, but you know what I'm trying to say. How does that feel for the team?
I would say early in the season, you are always, at the back of your mind is always like, was that a fluke? Was this a fluke? So going into leaving the Palatine game, you would think, was the first 3 games a fluke, or was that game a fluke? Like, you can't really tell. So I think going into that with nobody out was really important to win. So we didn't really have a expectation going into the game. We just had to play as hard as we could, and it ended up well for us.
Yeah, and I think, too, like, guys responded and battled. Like, Johnny Rigg and Max Meninga have been sick kind of this week, and I'm not making excuses for him because what I told Max, you know, I stole a line from Derek Jeter. Shout out Ryan Stearns, another huge Derek Jeter guy, right? Hey, if I'm in the lineup, there is no injury, you know? So, like, we're not saying, like, oh, well, I didn't play well because I was sick or, you know, I'm tired or I'm congested. Like, I've never heard Johnny complain about it. And Max, you know, buckled up and played hard and played a good game. You know, he had 10 points, 4 for 4 from the free throw line, finished some nice plays and huge moments in the first half. Yeah, he doesn't want me to talk about his bonehead foul in the first half, but that's okay. That's okay. You know,
I was actually gonna weave it in here, and I was just like, I feel like it's better if I don't.
You know, he gets a little wrapped up in the emotion of the game. That said, like, when I took him out for that, I'll give Max a ton of credit. Like, I yelled at him pretty good, like right in his face.
I was there.
Yeah.
I was right behind you. I heard it.
And you know what? During the whole time, he looked at me straight in the eye, and that's why he went back in. You know, he knows he made a mistake, like that we were in the bonus. It put them at the free throw line. He knew it wasn't smart. He knew he messed up, and you know, he took the chewing a little bit and went right back in there and responded. And that is the grown-up Max Meninga that has arrived now. And I think I was really proud of him to see that. It's not hard. It's not easy to get yelled at, you know. Mm-hmm. And like, I'm not necessarily a quiet person, and I'm not necessarily far away from him, you know. And I told him, like, that's not us. And he looked at me straight in the eye and goes, I know, my bad, you know, and went back in and responded. And that's part of growing up into, you know, a basketball player who can respond and put mistakes behind you. And I think that's something that Max has done a great job in the first 5 games of the year.
Has that been like a noticeable thing all year? Like your juniors to seniors, like just having a big step up in just their maturity levels?
Yeah. Like, you know, I don't have to yell and scream at Quinn. I'd be like, Quinn, rebound. And he rebounds. You know, like he does it in his, you know, we know he's strong enough. We know he's athletic enough. Rebounding's hard in varsity basketball. Like it's a fist fight to get those rebounds,
especially
man.
In some of these games. Like the Palatine game, those dudes were huge. Like, I mean, like, I feel like that's the only game where I felt like, oh, we might be undersized here. Last night we had it a little bit, but 40 was a big dude.
40 was a big dude, man.
And Hupp,
yeah,
I loved the way Hupp played last night.
Yeah,
he impressed me a lot. That's for sure.
And if Jackson plays like that, and our team can find a way to, you know, manufacture points and get stops, even when threes aren't falling, everybody's playing great when threes are falling, right? It's like, yay, you know, like 3 points at a time. Woo,
yeah.
Woo. Like when you really have to grind it out, like that's when real toughness shows. And I was proud of our guys last night. Like that was Maine South's first home game. They had a nice crowd there. I thought.
They did.
They did.
You know, it was loud. Like, you know, in the national anthem, they've been doing the home of the Hawks thing forever. Like they've been doing that since my dad was there and I was like 5 years old. I used to love that.
Yeah.
You know, so that's when it signaled to me like, all right, this is a road environment. First real true road test for these guys, and they responded, and I was really proud of them for that.
Before we move on, we definitely had a lot of trouble walking out last night.
Oh.
Had a couple of actually quite a few people say something to us, but
I mean, we could hear parents saying stuff to you guys during the
yeah.
game.
It was really fun. I liked Maine South, I'd say, the most out of all these games just because, like, it was I didn't even feel like that was Maine South though. I expected. For some reason in my head their gym is completely different than that. I thought it was like bigger and their rims wouldn't be like, but like 20. Like they just surprised me on like every level. That was like such a different game than I was expecting last night, and I think we played really well for how it ended up going. But on to our next segment, questions for Michael Jasper here.
Ooh, the hot seat.
The hot,
No,
not
it's
quite,
not hot
not
seat.
quite.
Oh, not the hot. No, okay.
We have a couple of.
Sorry,
Basketball
I get
questions.
carried away.
He got a little
I
excited.
get carried away.
So
Can I get some fruit?
yeah.
snacks?
Oh yeah, of course.
Let me just enjoy the
Yeah.
treats.
The break.
The classics.
Mike,
A
being
lot
a
of oranges in here, Cohen.
Nice. Isn't it fun to like build them together?
Not really.
Like, you could try.
Not really.
Mike, being a senior on this
Alright.
team who started to get more and more minutes at the end of last year and then starting to be used a lot off the bench this year, how would you describe your role on this team and how that's changed over the course of a year and everything like that goes into that?
I would say the whole time my role, other than getting a little more minutes, hasn't changed much. I know what I'm good at. I come in and I'll get a three, but I feel like lately I've been working a lot harder on defense and rebounding and stuff because I know that's what's going to keep me on the floor. So, yeah, I think that's my biggest role this year.
Can I jump in?
Yeah, of course.
So, Coach Hess does a lot of the defense stuff, and last night after the game, he had to shout out Mike. Just he's like, man, I know defense isn't his calling card, but he's finding a way to get it done to get himself on the floor, and that's something that, again, we're really proud of Mike for. Mike's not blessed naturally with all these gifts that other guys have. Like, he's not 200 pounds like Quinn. He's not 6'4" like Max. He's not built like Johnny or Jackson, but he finds a way to get it done. And that's something that, like, I'm super proud of Mike for is, like, just you can never count him out of anything because he's going to work hard enough
I'd agree.
to get the
I would
job
agree.
done,
And then, Mike, another one. To be known as a sharpshooter who can light up from three at any time, 5 minutes of three's God right here. What is an underrated skill of your game?
An underrated skill in my game is my hops.
Ooh. You know what? I like that, actually. I like that.
I like
Maybe we'll
that.
see Michael Jasper dunk by the end of the year.
Hopefully.
Hopefully, we'll get one. We'll get one. And then lastly, Mike, you're a crowd favorite. A lot of student section behind you. Would you say that affects your game? Gives you confidence?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
Especially because every student section we play against loves to talk about my ears. So I love it when I hear Connor Krebs and Nolan Kabeski yelling back at them.
Yeah.
Almost Friday favorite, too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's
That's all Cave, though.
I don't even know why. I've been on every single one for some reason.
I think somebody, Cave, sends your pictures in every week.
Cave.
I would say it's Cave. Yeah.
Love the Caveman. Haven't seen Cave. I think he's been at one game.
He was out. Oh. The
No,
games.
he told me that every game he's been to, Max has gotten hurt, so he's not coming to games anymore.
Yeah, he's definitely been to one. We actually, the fan section for the first game against York was huge. I'd actually say.
Yeah, recent college commitment for Cave. Shout out Cave.
Yeah,
shout out Cave.
shout out
Shout
Cave.
One of my
That's real.
favorite
Cave.
students.
Legendary class.
I know
may
he's-
I say.
Yes, legendary classmate. I know he's been reeling a little bit with all this
East of West
Kanye-
Egg.
East of West Egg. Yeah. Kanye in the news, but he's. I love Cave, man. He cracks me up, that kid.
All right, now to Coach Scott's favorite part, hot seat. New cover art. All right, Mike. What is one meal you can cook on your own?
An omelet.
Omelet. Oh, wow.
Omelet.
Yeah.
Wow.
What goes in this omelet?
Yeah.
When I'm making it, usually just like some cheddar cheese, maybe some ham, cold cut ham. But if I were ordering it, I go Denver omelet, which is
Denver.
cheese, ham, peppers, and onions.
I'd eat that. Yeah. No, that's
All
great.
right. And then who on the team would be the best president? This is kind of a classic question.
For real.
The best president on the team, I don't want to steal Quinn's answer, but I would say Crafton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say Crafton or Mike are
Yeah.
definitely the options here. We'll see who.
He's not super opinionated on anything,
Yeah.
but
but he is.
He's a great listener.
yeah, he's a great listener and he has input, but not too much input.
Yeah.
You know?
You know who I think is an underrated answer here? I agree that Crafty and Jasper are probably the front runners. Charles Schiffman.
Oh.
You know what? Because Charlie has yeah. Okay. Yeah. Charlie has like the
I see it-
president
I-
look on him, like
Yeah,
the
I see-
clean, like
Yeah, I see him kind of as a Kennedy.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
like he comes in, like he's
He's always got his
the
hair
great,
down.
great hair. You know,
Super
handsome
nice
guy,
suit, just
super
like-
nice suit. Like people vote for him because like, wow, he's
who wouldn't vote for that?
put
exactly.
together. He's well
Yeah,
put
he's
together.
with,
He's
yeah,
well
yeah.
put together.
Okay,
You know,
I can 100% get on that.
shout out Schiff.
Okay, I actually think I know where you're gonna go with this next one. Guilty music pleasure.
Wow. Well, I like to hear what you think I'm gonna say right
I,
now.
I would say like anything you usually play in the basement on the TV. Mike always connects his phone, gets some tunes on. I'd say like not the Lumineers, but like that kind of music. I think would be like your like the folky almost.
I would say
Folky
that.
Mike.
Yeah.
One that I would listen to by myself would be like a little Louis Armstrong jazz
Oh,
music.
Wow.
Okay, I have a Louis Armstrong song on my playlist. It's like peaceful. It's like you sit there
'Cause
and you're like,
My
You
favorite,
guys are old souls, man. I love to see it. I love to see it.
I like how it like music puts you in a mood, and jazz music like there's no mood to it.
yeah,
It's like mysterious.
yeah. It just kind of makes you like sit there.
It's free flowing. Shout
Yeah.
out Mr. Mix. Huge
Shout out
jazz guy.
Mr. Mix.
Wow.
Shout out Mr. Mix.
I didn't know that, to be
Yeah,
honest.
he loves jazz.
I've become a fan. I'd say like it's not something I listen to every day, but like
Yeah,
every
agreed.
once in a while, jazz.
I have a feeling you guys, and this again might be towards our older listeners, when you guys get to be 21 and are living downtown after college, there are a few like blues bars that you go to, and there's live music all the time. Kingston Mines and Blues Bar on Halstead. Like I think you guys are going to be.
I would so be into that.
frequents. Like it's
Yeah.
like old school blues musicians, and great place to take a date, perhaps. You know, shout out Hainish.
Shout out Anish.
Shout out Hanish. Yep.
All right, and
Shout
then
out Hanish.
that kind of goes into like the most popular question.
It does kind of go in.
The Michael Jasper, who's your celebrity crush?
My celebrity crush is probably Madison Beer.
Oh yeah. Okay. I didn't know if that's what you were
Another
gonna say.
TikToker.
No,
Is that
she's
who it was
she's
last
a
week?
singer.
Yeah,
Really?
She kind of does.
Is she a good singer, or is she like an
I don't
auto-tune
know.
singer?
I don't listen to her music.
I think it'd be one of those like model turns musician
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
Shout out Olivia from Peloton though.
Yes, Mike. Yes.
That shout out Olivia.
People, if you don't,
Amato.
you don't. If you
Recently
know,
got
you know.
married. Recently
If
got
you-
married.
Really.
Yeah, she did.
Unfortunate.
I sent Mike the Instagram story. He was heartbroken.
Yeah.
But we used to do the Olivia Amato abs workouts as a basketball team, and Mike would always pick the class based on what her outfit was. And she's awesome.
That like just
if-
is unlocked something I completely forgot about.
If you have a Peloton,
Yeah, that is great.
she's a hard too. The
Eh,
hard
oh,
classes.
oh
man.
no, it like
Holy
wasn't
cow.
easy because. Oh yeah, no, there were some good times with those for sure. Favorite drink in the world?
Other than like water, I would say I'm probably drinking milk the most. 2% milk.
Of course.
Yeah,
2%.
no, I'm,
You said.
Yeah.
I'm on milk a lot. I'd
You
say.
gotta strike me as a skim guy. True or false?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Ew.
But not
Yeah.
like. I also will make a lot of chocolate. Like
Yeah,
I'm
chocolate
just
milk for
always involved with milk. I guess.
What's your stance on strawberry milk? I've never had it.
To
I'm
be
actually
honest,
allergic to it.
I've actually never had it either. But the only time I've seen someone drink it, they yacked. So
Okay.
Wow.
It's not
it,
as
well,
good
it was
as
like one of
chocolate
those
milk.
challenges.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. I just like.
Yeah.
Why would you drink strawberry? I don't know. That's like a weird.
It's way too sweet. It's like
Yeah.
it's like a
Yeah.
dessert almost.
Are you guys big Oberweis milk
Oh,
people?
yeah.
Yes. Chocolate
Like
Oberweis
delivered to
milk
your
is-
door. My in-laws are like get like Oberweis delivered to their door. I'm like,
Fun fact.
I could never drink that much milk. But
Fun fact. He knows, but a lot of times I've brought chocolate milk to things. Like
Yeah.
I can have an example. Oh, Lake House. We go to Rhinestein's Lake House. Shout out Ryan. And yeah, I'm a big 2 Oberweis. Charlie Schiffman will take the whole thing down by himself, not leave any
Yeah.
for anyone else.
Charlie Schiffman is a big Oberweis milk guy.
Charlie Schiffman, Oberweis chocolate milk addict. That's
So is Carter Hansen. Shout
so
out
is Carter Hansen. Honestly, yeah, there's a lot of Oberweis chocolate milk addicts out there because it's good. It's like the perfect.
It's so like rich and just like the
Yeah.
consistency is
Yeah,
unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to get that and slide Thorn snack of the week, I'd be more than.
well, they don't sell Oberweis.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, not at Thorns.
Sure.
Okay, yeah, and then what would be your dream job, Michael?
I like that one too.
My dream job would probably I mean, I want to major in civil engineering, so probably something with building things.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And then something we didn't put on the script for this week, but I loved it from last week. What would a Michael Jasper warning label read? I'm a huge fan of
Michael
that question.
Jasper
That's
warning
got to
label.
carry over.
Yeah, I'm putting it down.
Like you're
there.
getting the packaging of the Michael Jasper action figure, right? And it says like warning.
It says, beware of dog.
Yes. Yes. I love it. I love it.
I love that. That's
Dog inside.
yeah, and yeah, that's a great way to put it, Mike. And now we're gonna wrap up. Shout outs though before we do that.
Mike?
Shout out Matthew Polton from Glenbrook South. He shouts me out on all his podcasts Wednesday nights. And shout out my mentoring group,
What? Wait.
WGBK. He has a podcast.
Okay.
Okay.
And what was
then
the second one?
Shout out my mentoring group.
Who's on your mentor group?
Yeah.
Me, Gage, Jimmy, Joey, Jake Gerard, Ethan Grease, and Quinn Kabeski.
I like Ethan Grease.
I like him too. Nice charge last week. Shout out Ethan Grease.
Yeah, his dad's a Packer fan.
Charge wall.
Oh, all right.
Oh, I think this is
Also
something
shout out
else
Nolan Kabeski.
Shout out Nolan Kabeski.
we are going to try to implement the brown jersey winners from each week.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
So do we go
Our brown-
over
should we,
that?
should we recap all three?
Yeah.
All right. Let's go through all
so
three
the
then.
first week was Jared. The second week was yours truly,
Yours
Monty
truly.
Mike. And then third was Danny McCarthy. So I know it means a lot to those guys when they get those brown jerseys. Jack Muglia and Josh Cataldo are tied for most all time
Oh wow.
with 5 brown jerseys each. To win that 5 separate weeks over the course of 2 years,
Oh, okay. I was gonna ask,
all
was
right,
it
is
over?
a lot.
Yeah.
You know, but Cat was a hard worker, and Muggs was the same way. So
Who has the most on the team for this?
I think Johnny Rigg got 2 last year. Mike might have 2 now.
I
1
have
last
2
year,
now, yeah.
1 this year. Jared Rigg got 1 last year and 1 this year now. So we got a lot of guys with 2. Okay,
yeah.
2 it's not common, but it's not uncommon. Once you get to 3, you're in like that rarefied era.
Yeah, and then more than that, just.
I mean, to
Yeah.
get somebody to vote for you again the same year is
Yeah.
like, it's
I
way
mean,
hard.
I even kind of remember it from when we were younger. It wasn't as like big of a deal, but still, it's yeah. So, I mean, you got a lot of guys on the team. But yeah, did you do shout outs?
I haven't done shout outs
All
yet.
right,
I was
let's hear them.
First of all, I want to shout out the girls team. All right, Buffalo Grove Tournament Championships. Huge game on Saturday for the girls. Number 1 Hersey takes on number 2 Bennett.
Oh,
Massive.
so that's
At
a Jack
Fremd.
Oh,
At Fremd, the house
neutral site.
the house that Kelly Scott built.
Neutral.
Yeah, so should be a great game. Love watching the girls team. I went and watched their tournament championship against Maine South. Meg is back. Meg is back, and
Meg's
like
very good.
and again, shout out Meg. She's awesome, but like she goes into the game, she's got her brace
Yeah.
on. I'm like, okay, she's gonna be a little timid. She was like shot out of a cannon.
No, I know. It's like she's been
Getting
waiting
steals.
to play. Me and my friends watched the one game on live stream, we were all watching it on live stream or whatever. And yeah, she's just something I said to my
she
friend.
moves differently.
She plays it. She plays basketball like she would play soccer, like as a forward. Like the second she gets the ball in the open court, boom! It's like she's already down and she got the layup. Like it's like one of those things, and that's impressive.
And like I know we had a good free throw performance last night. The girls are incredible
Really?
at free throws. Like it's just like a bucket.
Yeah.
Katie, Natalie, Kelsey, Megan, Mackenzie Ginder, Sabrina DeVito, like they're awesome, man. They're a really good team, and I can't wait to watch them in our combo game Friday night, and then on Saturday. Can we shout out? First of all, this is kind of a shout out, kind of an Amber Alert for my guy Jack Armstrong. Everybody knows I'm a huge Jack Armstrong fan. Last night, now I know he missed the one Thanksgiving tournament game for Black Friday shopping,
He
to
did.
which I was never informed.
Oh, you weren't informed.
I was not informed.
Okay.
I was informed by Flom when he showed up on
I
his
didn't.
own.
He sent Flom. I remember that.
Yeah.
You could have
He
just
sent
asked me to do
Flom.
it last night, though. Like you could have turned around and made Krebs, and that would have been.
Right, but it's Armstrong's job.
Yeah, no, it is.
So, and then yesterday I was looking around for him, like it was kind of like a little kid like finding their
Yeah.
security blanket, their parents, and I couldn't find them. No, I checked my phone, no text after the game. So, hey, Armstrong, just making sure you're all right, man. When you feel all right, come home. Come home soon. We can't wait to see you again. Okay.
Go home soon.
The Jacobs coach at the tournament, the Glenbrook South game, I guess Armstrong was screaming at the Glenbrook South coach. And then the Jacobs coach after the game was like, what do you get from that kid in the stands? I'm like, I get the stats. He goes, it's just funny because that kid is like screaming at the top of his lungs at the coach. Then he hands you like something. It's like, I don't know if it was like a phone. It's like a really small, it's like a first gen iPad.
Yeah, it's like, it literally, Jack will like just like be looking at it and it like fits in his hand like the new phones, honestly. It's, but yeah, I don't think we've been.
We're excited to have you back, Jack. I also have him and Flom's travel gear. They haven't picked it up yet.
I'll take it.
Yeah, I know
if it's
you
looking
will.
for a new home.
I know you will.
Yeah, no, definitely. Before we end here, definitely not.
But I heard he was working. I heard he was working at Heffy's.
It's probably why he wasn't there. He didn't say.
That's my son's favorite restaurant. Heffy's loves him some Heffy's.
Monday hot dogs. 99 cents.
Buffalo mac and cheese.
I've never had that.
Jack Armstrong's specialty. That's what we basically always get.
Mac and cheese burger.
Never for free though.
Really?
No, I'm just kidding.
It's
like
on a major. It's a major discount.
It's like 97%.
The five-finger discount. Right?
Yeah. All right, guys.
You don't have any shout-outs?
I don't usually. I guess shout out Lily Hainish.
Some D.
Yes.
What other shout outs do I have? Oh, I guess I'll just do this one. Shout out Hersey boys free throw percentage last night.
Yeah.
I was actually like majorly impressed.
Can we get the OC fired up for Friday against BG?
I plan on it. Oh, another thing I wanted to say. Shout out the guys who have been showing out to OC.
Yes.
We may be small, but we're mighty. I'd say mighty is almost an understatement.
Yeah,
Parents,
though they be but little, they be but fierce.
Yeah,
That's a little Shakespeare for you.
One more thing about that. The parents have definitely not enjoyed us, and I think that's our job. So I
the
think
opposing parents.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
think we've done our job.
Especially Nolan Kabeski.
Yeah.
Shout out Nolan Kabeski.
Yeah.
Well, see, I generally don't hear much, but it was dead silent yesterday when you screamed that kid looked like he was in seventh.
That wasn't me.
That was Nolan Kabeski.
Nolan gets some good. No, see, the thing about Nolan is when we all yell at once, like we do like an air ball, you don't hear Nolan. But if we all just be completely silent and you let him just bark, it will be louder than anyone else.
Yeah.
And it's actually kind of I don't know.
impressive.
I don't like even at football games, our friends would say they hear him, and he'd be like,
Yeah.
and you'd just be like, wow.
Yeah, I
He's
think he really stuck it to those Hawks last night.
Yeah.
Good for them.
He said it was really bad. You said it was.
Well, I was on the bench when the free throw happened.
True.
I was convinced he decided he was going to get kicked out before the game.
I actually was shocked if he didn't, to be honest. Like, no one even said anything. We were just getting dirty looks everywhere. But, hey, comes with the territory.
When you win, it's easier to leave. When
Yeah.
You get,
Yeah.
I mean, it still was definitely not easy to leave. Like, there was I probably should say that here, so.
I mean, coming from Maine South last year, there wasn't a single student.
Well, I feel like last year we were still, like, in the
No,
recovery.
on Maine South side. Like, it was a
Oh.
home game for them, and they didn't have a single kid there.
No,
And
wow.
they had a student section last year.
Yeah, they did. And they did, like, that half-court thing. Oh, you guys didn't even see that.
No, we didn't. Fill us in.
Yeah, so.
Yeah.
Th-
It was
no
lame.
music playing. The announcer didn't even like know who was going, and they just like shot a bunch.
There's
last
just one
two
dude,
kids,
like, just jacking
yeah,
up this.
and the last two kids just made it, and everyone was going
Half
nuts.
quarters?
Yeah, and we were just
Jeez.
like, there's
But he
like
took
30
like
kids.
20 tries at
Yeah,
it.
that's true, but very weird.
Forewarning, we play at Libertyville later in the year. Libertyville has always had this. They've had this even since I was in high school. At halftime, you can pay $1 and shoot a three. If you make a three, you get a T-shirt. If you miss, you can't shoot again. So it is.
That's actually pretty.
Even
Cool.
I have friends to this day that when we played at Libertyville my senior year, they made it. Like, I made it. It says it's like basic block font. I made a 3 at LHS. It's a nice little humble brag.
Yeah,
So I'm hoping you guys get that T-shirt.
I mean, and you say we play there, so it will
Yes.
happen. Okay,
Yes,
cool.
yes,
Yeah, I
yes.
mean, I'll probably be there, so
Yeah, get
I'll
in
be
the-
excited.
Get
on
that
the-
lefty jackknife jumper out.
Yeah.
Get on the courts at LA Fitness.
Yeah, of course. Got to get in. Got to get the work in. HYBA season coming up. Definitely a front runner
maybe
from
next
last year.
maybe next pod we preview HYBA season.
Yeah.
You're going to have a lot of angry kids in class, Mr. Scott. The draft did not go well for anyone.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
Yeah, it pissed me off, but whatever. Thank you all, everyone, for watching. That's gonna wrap it up here. For me, Connor Krebs, my co-host Jake Cohen, and of course, thank you to Coach Scott and the one and only Money Mike Jasper for coming in today's pod. Great episode, and we'll see you guys next week. Thank you.
Thanks for having us.